G'day guys, MFWest here, and we're back with another M Plus video. This time an 18 Shadowmoon Burial Ground. Now, very easy dungeon. We two chest this. I'm going to show you guys my gear, my talents, and we're going to get straight into the footage, guys. So, in terms of my gear, um, I'm a 406 item level. I've got 4 set. I've got Bowmore's Big Toe and an Alcatraz puzzle box along with a 402 weapon. So 4 set along with that. Decent. I need a much better weapon though. Talents, I recommend going Mythic. I recommend going Disease build for this. This is the setup that I ran for this dungeon. It works quite well. Not really too much that I would change. Potentially run AMZ on a 4 to 5 week for those 2 ads, but we'll get more about into it in the video. But yeah, let's get straight into the video, guys. Let's go. Alrighty, guys, we have strata past the first pack. It's just kind of an annoyance because you use cooldowns on it where it's a situation where you don't really want to use cooldowns. You want to be bursting your cooldowns on this pack here. But we're met with the situation where the Void Spawn needs to piss off before we can actually move into this pack and damage it. So he shrinks, and then we can actually go into the pack and do some damage. So I am Disease build, guys. Now, the first thing in Disease build you should be doing is Scourge Striking on a pack. Getting your Play Bringer buff up. I send everything here. Slappy Hands, Empowering Weapon, everything. We chain it into the spiders. At this point, I'm going to be spamming Epidemic. And just note, guys, my rotation and the abilities that I'm pressing are just above the details meter. So if you want to watch that, or go back and watch where I'm clicking there. But yeah, pretty much nothing too crazy there. Now we just want to make sure that we get our kicks here. We all have our assigned kicks. And as Death Knight, you have a shit ton of stops. So we can use grips, we can use blind, we can use sleet, blind or sleet, and we can use like stuns as well. Unfortunately, some casts get through, and we lose healer and rogue on that pack there, but it's okay as long as we can keep moving on. Shadowmoon Burial Grounds is an absolute joke of a key, guys. So, and honestly, it's an okay dungeon for DK. Unfortunately, there's like not too much AoE happening. It's a very like single target orientated kind of dungeon, but there are these glimpses of like where there are multiple like sections of mobs, like large packs of mobs. Spiders, guys, we destroy. That is literally just Dark Transformation and Unholy Blight, and that's going to be 200k while spamming Epidemic. Very straightforward damage profile for us. And the Rogue wasn't there, so we kind of just gobbled it all up. So we're just waiting for Rogue to get back, and we're going to head into the first boss. On 4 to 5 weeks, these bosses are pretty decent. A lot of these bosses as well, they have magical damage, so Death Knight's pretty strong into them as well. Especially Sedana Blood Fury. We also have a pretty good group to nuke the ads as well. So Dark Communion is going to come out here in a sec. There's going to be some decent damage. Honestly, like, we're on voice of the healer, and there wasn't really any real requirement at this key level to pop personals at certain areas. So we swapped to the actual ad here, and ideally we can try and get him to be touched. But yeah, honestly, the ads are pretty straightforward. We, as Death Knight, we kind of suck at target swapping. But along with the Windwalker Monk and an Outlaw Rogue, it's not too bad. So with one like one ad rotation, the boss is already at 35% HP. So we're going pretty good. We're doing 60k DPS here. Unholy, with the Disease build, it does very like decent single target damage. So nothing really to complain about there. This second ad, we've got 6 seconds left to kill it. Unfortunately, it's not looking like we're going to kill it. Because it was kind of inside some of those daggers, it was very difficult for us to finish. So a little bit of time lost there. And one thing you probably noticed in my build before we got into the video, I am running Apocalypse, and on higher levels of keys, I actually think there's actually some decent usage out of Apocalypse, so just testing it to see how I feel about it, and so far I like it. Good priority damage as well. So the next ad spawns and it's dead. So this next pool, guys, is pretty big. For this pack here, the Subjugated Soul at the front is the only one you want to be kicking. The rest you don't want to kick, you want to let them just cast their domination. So it's just less things to kick and focus on, and focus your damage on killing these things. So I'm pretty much in charge of stopping Circle from doing anything. So pet stuns, sleets, kicks, grips, and then we move on to the rest of the pack. And you know, like, we can actually hold our own, you know, on a 5 to 6 mob pool with Disease build. Like, Yes, the wound build does much better AoE damage in a large pack, but disease is very, very consistent. And all you need for damage of disease build is literally just the ability to like press Scourge Strike and get your dots ticking at a much faster rate, along with Epidemic Spam. So here we've got these Exhumed Spirits. They cannot get their casts off, guys. Like that Death Blast is a one-shot. So do whatever you can to stop them from actually getting that off. Grip it, sleet it, anything you can do to get those Death Blasts from going off. As you can see there, it gets sleeted. And yeah, we're about to head into this next boss. Yeah, that's the only thing that's going to kill you in this whole area is the exhumed, these exhumers getting the death blast off. So there are actually a few of these, like, I'm going to call them like crypts around the room, and if you step on it, it spawns that mob that will cast that death blast that will one-shot people. So be very mindful of where you're moving around the room. Ideally, you just want to be staying in the middle as a melee. Don't run around like a headless chicken on the outside. I throw everything here on pool. Now, there is a part of me on higher keys that I think you should be min-maxing, and when I say that, how this fight works is when you go into the other realm and you kill the ad, when you come out, I believe it's a 40% damage buff. And the faster you get out, the more uptime you have with your damage amp on the boss. So part of me thinks that, look, you kill this ad, and look, Unholy needs a cooldown to kill this, so I Apocalypse it, and then I go outside and I have this damage buff on me for about like 12 or 13 seconds. This is when I think you would lust an army on higher level keys to get the most out of the actual fight. But I think at this stage on an 18, it does not matter. We might not even get a second ad phase here, guys. Like, it's coming in 26 seconds, so plenty of time for us to just pump. Watch your feet here with the massive swirlies, and yeah, on higher keys, you most definitely will get, you know, multiple ad sets, but it's such an easy fight. Like, there's literally nothing that can kill you here. Like, you'd have to go stand in a massive swirly. So we're just about going to get another ad phase here. It's very, very close, but I think we kill it just in time. Boom. So literally only one ad phase. So this next pool here, quite a large one, similar, exact same type pool as the last one. So just kick the one subjugated soul that is like not channeling and just burst otherwise on the rest of the pack. So Slappy Hands, and Unholy Assault or Frenzy, whatever it's called, and we're just spamming Epidemic here, guys. Really straightforward. And again, like on a 5 to 6 target pool of disease, you're going to do very good damage. And the best thing is, it's not going to drop off, like kind of like how Wound Build does eventually after your D&D window is finished. Disease is going to be very consistent, as you can see. You know, we're staying up there with the likes of Outlaw Rogues and Windwalker Monks. So yeah, pretty solid. And I think as the expansion goes on, we'll only get stronger as well with better gear and optimization. This next like hall that we have here is like one of the most AoE heavy parts of this dungeon. Unfortunately, this exhausted, this Exhumer doesn't want to die, so we kill it. Now, there's really important kicks you have to do here. You have to get the kicks on the spiders and the bats. These are very, very scary if they get the cast off. So yeah, pretty much going to go in here. Unholy, Blight, Dark Transformation, Scourge Strike, and just spamming. Now, this sub-rogue is... he pops a large set of cooldowns there, gets some massive, massive hits, and pretty much nerks. Like, he mercs that entire pack. So, yeah, just sub doing sub things. Old J Fry doing that. We're going to head down to the bottom area. A similar kind of pool. I believe it's one less... actually, no, it's exactly the same pool, but this time there's 2 spiders, so no bats. Again, I'm in charge of kicking one of the spiders. We Scourge Strike into Epidemic Spam with Unholy, Blight, and Dark Transformation, and just look at the damage, guys. Like, really, really respectable damage for a build that doesn't have that, you know, Vile Contagion, Bursting Swords. Look, on these kind of pools, like that kind of target count with the Bursting Swords build, you would definitely beat Disease, but this dungeon is like very awkward, and there's not many AoE pools, so you know there's only a few good pools for Unholy's wound build in here, so that's why I think disease build is the play, especially on higher key levels where you're spending more time on bosses. So we chain these spiders here. We're picking up these 2 extra spiders because we skipped that first pack at the beginning. So we're chaining into this pack here with the 2 spiders. Now, there are bats that are about to come in, and ideally these spiders are dead before we engage the bats. Boom, they die. Bats pass by. Probably couldn't take them there. We just want to make sure we have our kicks for the bats because there are a large set of bats here. Otherwise, we're sending here, guys. The bats come. Now I'm on a Dark Transformation on Holy Blight. Get my diseases up on them. Focus kicks. Now I have blind available for the next set of kicks, so keep in mind. I'm just spamming Epidemic here. And I'm going to blind the next set of casts here after the Blood Decayed his. So we're just locking down this pat. And boom, that gets knocked into blind. They fall off, but they can fly back up again, so yeah. The only thing that will kill you here, guys, is literally missing kicks, so use your entire toolkit that you have to stop that from happening. Just a singular carrion worm here, nothing too spectacular here. This guy is pretty healthy, so I think I'm pretty sure I sent Unholy Blight and Dark Transformation here before boss. Honestly, I could have sent Unholy Frenzy as well, but sorry, Unholy Assault. I could have sent it as well, but I just hold on to it. So that's just me not knowing like the key timings and stuff. So, you know, more stuff for me to learn as well. But yeah, moving on to this boss now. This boss is a pain, in my opinion. It's a very long boss, guys. Like 21 mil almost. Jesus, that's a lot of HP. So sending everything on pull here with Lust. Sending it. Now, he does the suck here. Now, I've learned this the hard way. As a Death Knight, Death's Advance will stop you from being sucked in, but you can't be like directly in front of him. You have to be off to the side and press Death's Advance. If you're in front of him and you press Death's Advance, even though you shouldn't be able to be sucked in, you do anyway, because his mouth's right there. So if you're off to the side, you're safe. Now, we had a skeleton pile off to the side, so I can't really show you in this one, but yeah, you ideally just want to be off to the side, press Death's Advance as he begins the inhale. It will take, your Death's Advance will cover you for that entire inhale. So yeah, shield. Ideally as well, ranged for the other party members come into melee to drop these these puddles for the melee to get into. Now you'll notice he spawns these two other worms, his siblings or children, I don't know. We actually want to kind of like dot those up and kill them. On higher level keys, especially Tyrant, they actually begin to hurt. You don't really notice on low level keys because this doesn't do any damage, but they do start to do a bit more damage, so I'm keeping them diseased up. I'm pretty sure for the most part here though, we are ignoring them, but on high level keys, on Tyrannical especially, I think we're going to have some classes like Warlock and stuff to have them kill those lads. They are very scary, and they begin to actually do a lot of damage. I mean, if your healer is comfortable with healing that amount of damage, that's fine. And honestly, it's the only amount of damage that is actually needs to be healed in the fight. Like, there's not much to heal in that fight at all. So finish that fight on 51k, solid damage. Now, this pack here, there's multiple kicks required here, yes. But we want to try and keep some cooldowns for the next pull, because that pull is scary as fuck, and I'll talk about it later. But here, just focusing on everything here. I'm saving army for the next pull, which is good, which will be with Unholy Blight and Dark Transformation. Otherwise, we're sending cooldowns into this pack, as it's quite scary. Now, the reason why this pack is scary is because it does these void pulses that do a shit ton of freaking damage. Now, on high level keys, this probably will almost one-shot people. Very scary. We are coordinating with the healer, like, do you want our personals? Do you want, you know, is this going to be your defensive cooldowns first, your rewind into our, like, defensives? The monk got hit by a swirly, I think. Monk AS. But otherwise, we're fine. It's a little bit scary because, you know, that DPS is missing. So they're up a little bit longer. But as long as you focus down one of these void spawns, you're chilling. Because the double hit from the void spawns is what is so scary. One going off, like as you can see, it took our healer down to like 40% HP. Not that bad. So yeah, it's just making sure that you focus down one. And look, I sent an army of the dead into this. On a 4 to 5 week, this set of, like this pack here, is way more critical than that of the next boss. So we have 7 minutes to 2-chest this boss. Like, this dungeon is so heavily undertuned. Everyone knows it. When everyone sees Shadowmoon Burial Grounds, it's like, it's a free key. So yeah, the way this boss works, guys, is the one mechanic that we have to be careful of is the, I want to say it's Omen of Death. Let me just clarify that as it goes off. Yep, so as you can see on the outside, there's like this void pulsing. It targets ranged, and they want to bait it on the outside of the room so it doesn't interfere with melee or interfere with any part of the middle of the room. So that's a range mechanic. We don't care about that as a melee. We are literally just hitting the Zul killing the wall and dodging the cones. That's it. That is literally this fight. So yeah. And the good thing is, like, if the ranged is like actually baiting that Omen of Death on the outside of the room correctly, it will never bother you. You'll never have to press defenses for it or anything. Yeah, the main thing is, guys, I would actually focus on tyrannical weeks, like saving and pulling cooldowns for the wall. Like, the wall is one of the only ways that you wipe, okay? So make sure your group are saving cooldowns for this Ritual of Bones, because yeah, if you don't kill it, you're doomed. Now, as you can see, when the Ritual of Bones is going off, you see that purple ship behind them. If you touch that, it puts like a 10-second dot on you. That ticks extremely, extremely hard. Now, you can actually AMS and walk into the wall if you need to reposition yourself to dodge a cone. I don't know about the amount of time that you can actually stay in like the purple shit, but you can AMS, walk into the wall, you know, dodge out of the cone, and then walk back into the open space, which is really, really cool. So we have the ability to move around in this fight, which is awesome. And yeah, so holding a solid 50k DPS, guys, on this boss, which is pretty solid, I think. That's not even lust or anything, that's just our damage. And down goes the boss, and that's a 2 chests for an 18 Shadowmoon Burial Grounds. Over the next few weeks, guys, I'll be posting a lot more kind of higher level content as well, like 20s and stuff for Unholy DK. So, yeah, that's going to be my focus pretty much for that. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about the talent build or Unholy DK in general, please pop them down below in the comment section. Please give the video a thumbs up and follow me on social media at MFWest WoW on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome new year. See yous.